Life like this sure is sweet, huh?
It definitely is.
My whole entire perspective on manga changed. I honestly thought it would be a waste of time to read manga because it's typically done colorless with no soundtrack, no animation, and no dialogue. And I have to read. Despite the fact that I don't enjoy reading, the only books I've ever been interested in was the Magic Treehouse series and The Amulet, which was an American manga series. Besides the point, before Chainsaw Man, I just couldn't think of reading manga as a mind-blowing experience. I've obviously seen some manga panels from other series like Vagabond or Berserk, but that's about it. And ironically, the thing that really drew me in and captivated my attention was the Volume 1 cover of Chainsaw Man. The color palette consists of a combination of bright green in a blood spatter texture with orange background. The colors are just so crisp and vivid, and the main highlight of the cover is Denji turned into Chainsaw Man, chopping through and standing atop a swarm of zombie devils as massive quantities of green blood stream into the air above him. Because this was my first time reading an uncolored and traditional manga, I had to get used to reading from right to left because we usually read from left to right in America, and it was a little bit tricky at first, but I definitely got used to it, and I felt like I understood the story a lot more because of it. So, the main premise of Chainsaw Man is a very unique story. Denji is a young man in dire need of money since his father died, leaving him behind a large debt of money. He relies on his devil dog called Pochita, who has a chainsaw blade jutting out its muzzle. To help him make money, they work together to slay evil demons, gather timber for sale, and do about everything they can to scrap for money. Pochita sacrifices himself to rescue Denji after the Yakuza betrays him, and he is slaughtered by the zombie devil. Denji has been resurrected as a strange devil-human hybrid. He's now Chainsaw Man. Makima immediately hires him following the transition to join the public safety demon hunters, who are in danger of extinction. Now that he is technically a devil, Denji tries to describe his aspirations and form long-lasting relationships while killing demons and working with other quirky devil hunters for the first time in his life. Chainsaw Man's supporting cast is awesome and they're all nuts. The main trio of Denji, Aki, and Power are such a pleasure to watch. Their on-screen chemistry is tangible, and the scenes of friendship are so good that you'll start looking for fanfics where nothing negative happens to them for a change. One character reveals that you have a few screw loose to live as a devil killer, which is true. To live as demon hunters, these characters, many of whom aren't human, behave totally beyond the limits of normal actions. Despite this, they are both believable and convincing, each with their own set of ambitions, interactions, personality, and characteristics. They clash and make jokes. Beyond that, each character develops and progresses naturally, where even your least favorite characters start to grow on you. When I first started reading Chainsaw Man, I hated Power. Now I'd pretty much die for her. The cast of characters is unexpectedly amusing and likable. Aki, Power, and Denji's family shenanigans may be putting them through hell, but you can't but help like them. Makimia's dubious and enigmatic nature is very captivating. The manga also has a strong cast of supporting characters, with notable mentions going to Kobeni, Reizi, Angel Demon, and the literal goat Kishibe, who all enrich the chapters with their presence. And for Denji's character, I feel like he is one of the most realistic shonen protagonists out there. He was forced into selling his body parts and killing demons as a child just so he can survive. Unlike most big shot shonen protagonists, they're usually driven by some type of motivation or goal. Denji isn't really like that. Although he's crazy and definitely over the top, like he literally was killing an immortal demon over and over until the demon just wanted to kill himself. He has qualms on his actions and even questions himself on whether he has lost his humanity or not, just at 16 years old. This made Denji seem very realistic, unlike most protagonists, and I do not think the author, Tatsuki Fujimoto, made a horrible decision with Denji's characterization, and even if he did, I'm glad he took a different approach to building Denji's character. Any woman who has a consensual relationship either tries to kill Denji or manipulate him. People don't think his horniness is cliche since Denji is wild. He plainly doesn't give a crap. His primal desire is simply one facet of his personality that pushes him insane when engaging with the individuals around him. This is a universal truth that people mistake for Denji being foolish in the same way that power is stupid. No, Denji has a few loose screws. He is so nonchalant about most things that his humanity is called into doubt. He has no ambitious goals because his life was the bottom of the barrel. Having to sell his eyes, his balls, and being an insurmountable debt made by his father. He never went to school, there were no friends and no lover. He just wants to eat good food, get a woman, and touch some boobs. Achieve with a that's it. An existential crisis over accomplishing all of that before Makima teaches him the difference. And they go on dates and live the life that he wanted. The thorough attention to detail in the illustrations, as well as the understated yet convincing plotline, left a strong impression on me. The gore, the violence, and the style of the fights is just super raw and can get grimy and chaotic, but that just makes it so much better in my opinion. Fujimoto's art style is just highly distinctive, and its gritty aesthetic adds significantly to the overall mood of the story. His portrayal of battle scenes and action sequences is flawless. He has a strong sense of character design, and his representations of the numerous devils in this universe are unforgettable and well defined. In just a few panels, Tatsuki can really show you what he's capable of. Both the audience and the characters are subjective to an intense feeling of powerlessness, disorientation, and dread on such a deep and conceptual level. Not to mention the interesting color palettes on the front pages and the volume covers are just dope. The battle is a spectacle in and of itself. It's like a gorgeous mashup of Jujutsu Kaisen, Sharknado, Dorohedoro, demons, horror, satire, high-octane action, and death. Jujutsu Kaisen shares many parallels with Chainsaw Man, but is more representative of typical shonen anime in a good way. It's strongly inspired by Hunter x Hunter and Bleach, and the battles and control structure are awesome. One of the things I'm concerned about mostly is that Chainsaw Man might be criticized for being too similar to Jujutsu Kaisen, but I believe they're definitely distinctive enough. Especially in terms of tone, Chainsaw Man's attitude to demons and contracts is one of the best I've seen. And my other worries about the Chainsaw Man anime is the censorship. Compared to Jujutsu Kaisen, Chainsaw Man is a lot more raw and definitely has more violence, more gore, and definitely more nudity, especially for the younger demographic that's going to view the show. I just know if the anime gets big and everybody and their mothers are watching it like I expect, I just hope they don't censor it to a point where Chainsaw Man doesn't really feel like Chainsaw Man anymore. The friendship theme is well known in Shonen Jump, however, Chainsaw Man bears no resemblance to it in any meaningful manner. Style that is incredibly dark and mature. Since Tatsuki Fujimoto is a natural with incredible talent, his ideas and worldview are very new. He's a film buff, and his works reflects this. Chainsaw Man is no different. I was drawn into this manga because it's film-like style. And to finish this off, I just want to say that Chainsaw Man is good as hell. It's a smart manga that is gory, painful, and will make you feel despair like you've never felt before. But at its core, it's a story about the power of relationships and Denji's struggle to carry on the legacy of those around him. I'd highly recommend this manga to anybody that likes Jujutsu Kaisen or anything of that nature. And the announcement for the anime animated by MAPPA, the studio behind Attack on Titan, Jujutsu Kaisen, Yasuke, and many others, and a part 2 of the Chainsaw Man manga has been officially confirmed. But I do hope that the Chainsaw Man anime doesn't undermine and underdevelop what the manga has brought. I have a lot of faith in MAPPA on this one, so I hope they give it their full and undivided attention. And if somehow the Chainsaw Man anime gets an amazing adaptation, we can be witnessing a cult classic in the making. So if you were recently online, you probably saw that Chainsaw Man was trending and watched the trailer at the MAPPA Stage 2021 event, along with other projects such as Attack on Titan, Jujutsu Kaisen, and Remain. But Chainsaw Man was probably the one that took all the glory, and it's set to be one of the biggest anime releases, if not the decade, as of right now. An official release date has not yet been announced for the anime series, but we are extremely hopeful for a debut sometime later this year in fall 2021 or early next year during winter. Of course, MAPPA still has the big task of creating the film Jujutsu Kaisen 0 and animating the second part of Attack on Titan Season 4, so a debut could be sooner or later than expected. However, we do have some insight into the brilliant team that will be assisting in the creation of Chainsaw Man. Hiroshi Seko worked as a screenwriter on titles like Mob Psycho 100, Banana Fish, and Ryu Nakayama was also a key animator on One Punch Man Season 1, and probably one of the most vital roles in the Chainsaw Man adaptation, in my opinion, is Kensuke Yoshio, who will be the music composer. And I think with a series like Chainsaw Man, the music is going to be very unique and can really set a tone with the show. And he also worked on A Silent Voice, Devilman Crybaby, and Space Dandy. So just with all of these names on board, it's easy to assume that Chainsaw Man is in excellent hands. And about that long-awaited trailer that I have been mentioning, let me introduce to you guys MAPPA's Chainsaw Man. In just over 22 hours since its release, the trailer has already received over 10 million views all combined, and as you guys saw, it shows off numerous key events and teases some of the massive fights that we'll be seeing in action when the anime eventually premieres. So the hype is real, guys. Chainsaw Man is definitely up next, and if you haven't read the manga, read it right now. And I guess that brings it close to this video, and as a result, I finally reached my goal of 200 subscribers. So I'd like to thank everybody who watched this video, and I know it's been a while since I uploaded, but now since it is summer and school is out, I definitely will try to make as many videos as humanly possible. So tell me your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Also, don't forget to subscribe and like before you go. I'm Guru Mati, and stay safe.